Hey everyone, welcome to Coworker Calamity, the podcast where we try to make sense of the chaos that comes from being young women who have recently entered the quote-unquote real world. My name is Caroline, and today's episode is titled From Playgrounds to Paychecks. I wanted to start the show because honestly, being a completely financially independent adult in 2025 is starting to feel like a scam. Between career curveballs, mental health spirals, and the occasional existential crisis, I wanted to create a safe space to talk about it all and hopefully find an audience that resonates and knows that they aren't alone out there. And I'm not alone in here either, because today I am joined by somebody who is not only wonderful, but has been with me through the deepest, darkest trenches of work. My coworker, my co-host, and my favorite person to debrief with after a crazy meeting. Let's welcome to the podcast, Miss Isa. Hi. Hi.
This is awkward.
Literally. So how are you doing? How's your week?
Good. It was kind of uneventful, and yeah, I'll leave it at that because it was a really uneventful week in a good way. You know those weeks where you needed nothing to happen?
God, yes.
Yeah,
I always need those, and far and few between. I swear to God. Always something. Every single week. I always have something happen to me. Even when I'm not even trying to do anything, something, I cannot leave my house and something will happen.
Yeah, no. There are days where things get so intense or so crazy and so upsetting that you want to be boring.
Yeah.
That's me. And that was this week. It was such a boring week in the best way possible. I love being bored because then I can just sit in my room and I can light a candle and that's it. That's all I want.
Yeah.
There's nothing else
balance. It's all about balance, because if you're too bored, then you start doing stupid stuff to entertain yourself.
True.
I know a lot of those people. Even last night, I didn't get to tell you this. Last night, I'm going to a friend's place and we're pulling in. We went to go pick up a pizza and we're pulling into their neighborhood, and there's like a code where you have to access the gate. And the exit of the gate, the exit side the gate was just left open, and it's like that sometimes. This place is not guarded well, let's put it like that. And also, side note, it's a old person community. The person in front of me is at the code, like taking forever. And there's been so many times where I've gone to this complex and people try to get in, they just don't know their code or how to work the machine, so you end up sitting there for like 10 minutes. And so finally I'm like, I'm going around this person, I'm just gonna go through the exit. So I do that, and what I didn't know was there was somebody behind me, and they start following me. They follow me all the way to this person's house, and we're sitting in my car. I pull into a parking spot. In the parking spot situation, there isn't one that's dedicated for the apartments. It's just a big parking lot, so you can park anywhere. So I pull in, and this guy pulls up behind me, and like behind my car, so I can't back up or anything. I can't leave. He pulls out his phone and starts taking pictures of my license plate. I'm like, what the heck? And he's like an older man, like mid-70s maybe. And so finally he starts to drive off, but he doesn't go away. He parks a little bit around, a couple yards away. Not a couple yards, like half a football field away. I don't even know how to do measurement. He was like still there, but he wasn't right behind me anymore.
Yeah.
And he gets out of his car and he starts filming us in my car on his phone. So finally I'm like, okay, let's just get out. You know what? This man is not going to keep me trapped in my car like this with this little red phone. So we get out of the car and he immediately starts screaming at us. He's like, you can't do that. Like, you can get charged for that. They're going to charge your car. They're going to charge the gate, whatever. And I'm like, first of all, bro, well, I don't say anything. I just start cackling at this guy. Like cackling, laughing, because it's so ridiculous that this is how you would spend your time. And he got really mad. One thing about white men, they don't like to be laughed at all. They don't like it. Fun fact, because they don't like to be humiliated. And he got really mad. But I'm like, go ahead, charge my car. I don't even live here. They're not charged where? And also, fun fact, this place doesn't have cameras because somebody tried to break into my friend who lives there's apartment and they couldn't even get footage of it.
Right.
And you know what? It's like funny and, you know, stupid, obviously. And obviously I shouldn't have gone through the exit. I know that. But at the same time, for somebody to be so miserable in their life, to hunt down a bunch of young women, follow them, start filming them, and then screaming at them, that's a really scary thought. Yeah. That like one day I will be mid-70s and I'll become that. Because, you know, when you're getting up there in age, you would think that you would start really finding meaning in life. Like, what was the purpose of your life? What do you want to do or accomplish before you die? Not, how do I spend my last few years being obnoxious as possible?
Well, first of all, you said he followed you through the exit gate?
No, no.
Oh, okay, okay.
Actually, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't see him following me until I pulled into her section of the neighborhood.
Right. So a part of me is thinking that he followed you.
Probably, maybe.
So, both of y'all were wrong.
I don't know how he would have entered his code so quickly though, and then hunted me down.
Yeah.
He must have followed me through the exit gate.
He could have. Honestly, it's giving HOA. He definitely was HOA, not president, but maybe wanting to be president.
He's a HOA wannabe.
Yeah, he actually applied to be part of it and he got denied. And he's trying to prove himself.
Yeah.
I think that's what that whole ordeal was. But that is kind of scary.
Yeah, and I think once he realized we're really young women at first, I think he backed off a bit. And then he realized that I was not nice. He got really mad again.
I definitely think the laughing part. I'm so sorry that happened. But
it was fine.
Was the pizza good?
Oh, so good. So good.
Would you do it? Would you do it again?
Oh my god, yeah. I have done it before. I will go through the exit gate. I have the code to the community. If you can't get into the community and people are waiting behind you, go off to the side and figure out how to get in. Or go through the exit gate. Go through the freaking open exit gate.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. These people, they think that they're going to get arrested on the spot.
I mean, we live in a city/town/area that is, the average age is definitely retired, getting retired.
I think statistically, the average age is like 55, 60 maybe.
Yeah. Which makes so much sense. And it's also a very safe place.
Yeah.
I think they're just really used to the fact that cops will come for the smallest thing, and it's insane. What's really annoying is the gate part, because I know what place you're talking about. I know you just had to say old people like condo situation.
Yeah. I
was like, okay, that gate never works. So for the fact that
it's broken all the time. The other day I went it was just like down.
Yeah.
It's just like on the ground.
That's what bothers me about this place, is that there are so many apartment complexes that advertise as gated, and then the gate is broken. It's never closed. Yeah, I have toured 3 places where they're like, oh, we have a gate, and
none of them ever work,
and they're just open. Is the gate a decoration? Is it like trying to be something interesting? I don't know.
And you know what? I don't blame this guy for not wanting random people who don't live in the community, even though my friend is in my car with me and she lives in the community, like to break in. I understand that and should have gone through the exit. No. But my point is, once you see that we're 2 23-year-old girls with a pizza, like, go away. We're not breaking into anywhere. We're just trying to eat our pizza and watch movies.
He just wanted to teach y'all a lesson. That's another thing.
He taught me a lesson, all right. He taught me to live my life to the fullest. That's what he taught me.
I love that. I love how it's all over a pizza. That's crazy to me.
I just wanted freaking pizza.
I love when you can look back and you see the snowball, where it's
the domino effect,
if you didn't go get a pizza and you didn't go through the exit gate, you wouldn't have had a scary old man.
I didn't even want to drive. My friend refused to. I always got to drive. I'm always the driver.
I hope she doesn't listen to this episode. She's gonna be like, what the hell? That's a very interesting and this happened last night.
Yeah. And I attract that in life. There was another time recently that I'm just driving out of a Target around here and this old lady just flipped me off.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I'm a good driver. Okay. I just want to say.
Yeah.
I don't do whatever. I don't care. Anyways.
That's a great point, is when I first started driving at 16, that freedom of independence, I was such a sensitive driver. So if somebody was giving me road rage, it would be on my mind.
You wouldn't let it go?
Yeah, it would be on my mind all day. And sometimes I made a mistake. Maybe I cut somebody off, or maybe I didn't stop at this, something stupid. I would feel the guilt and my pain.
Yeah.
But now, as a 23-year-old woman who's been driving since I was 16, if someone honks at me, I could care less. And that's such an interesting, I always look back and I'm always thinking, if I were 16 and this were to happen to me, I would be so anxious. There was one time where I almost backed into a person crossing the crosswalk. I'm not going to dive into why, but I almost hit a person on accident because I had to back up my car a little bit, and I blamed on the fact that I was really caffeinated, and I quit coffee for 3 months.
Yeah.
I quit because I felt so guilty. I was like, oh my God, I can't make this mistake again. I'm too caffeinated. I have to quit coffee. Now it's like, if that were to happen, I would be like, oopsie. Sorry.
Yeah, that's so real though. Ever since I was a kid, I was a very sensitive kid.
Same.
Like, if people were ever mean to me or ever made a comment, I took that like the Bible. They were God.
It changed my life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the older you get and you develop more self-confidence and more security in your sense of self, that starts to dissipate for sure. You're not as affected by other people's words and actions.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, yeah, that's so true. If this happened to me when I was like a kid, I would cry.
Yeah, no, I would be up at night, being
Yeah.
anxious about it, overthinking it, the whole 9 yards.
Mhm.
But yeah, I totally agree with you. It's weird growing up, being sensitive, being considered sensitive. There's not enough experience in your mind to handle a situation like
Absolutely, and
that,
I
which is
feel
cool.
I don't know if this is a woman thing in general or maybe it's just a me thing. I remember a ton as like a kid. I was always almost reprimanded by people around me for being too sensitive. Oh, you're too sensitive. You took that
Yeah.
too seriously. And as I get older, that's just a way to invalidate people's emotions
And opinions.
and opinions and not take credit for your actions towards somebody and the way you treated somebody. And instead, you put the blame on them.
Yeah.
Now, as I get older, I don't feel any less sensitive than I did as a kid. I just know how to handle those interactions more maturely and better. But I do think it's funny how your entire way of existing can change just even in a few years based off of more experience and all of that. Do you feel like for you there was a huge change from as like a kid to entering high school or college years, if that makes sense, or even just from middle school to that?
Well, I had the whole emo phase thing
Oh
happening in
my
middle
gosh.
school.
How emo are we talking? Are we talking like side bangs, dyed hair, or are we talking
My
side
mom-
bangs, dyed hair, piercings everywhere?
No, my mom wouldn't let me dye my hair.
Oh yeah, me either.
Thank the Lord for my mom for not letting me dye my hair, because that would have been a nightmare. I understand that now. I don't look good with colored hair. And we'll fast forward to that. Yeah, no, in 7th grade, that's when I started getting into bands and emo and kind of fandom
Me too. It was
culture.
literally 7th grade. That's
Yeah.
when I started getting super into Fall
Yeah,
Out Boy.
Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
I was really into Panic at the Disco.
Me
My
too.
Chemical Romance, which they just broke up.
Just
When we were
got
that
into it?
age, when I
Yeah.
was 12 or 13.
Heartbreaking.
That was the first time in my mind I was thinking, man, I wish I was a teenager when My Chemical Romance were in their prime, in their Danger Days era, Black Parade era. I was thinking that, and it's so crazy because I see the same thing where there are people on TikTok who are younger, 14, and they're like, oh, to be a teenager during the era where 21 Pilots just released Blurry Face and
Literally,
Trench.
dude, I saw a post this morning where they were like, oh, I wish I was a high schooler between the years of 2015 2019, and it was a collage.
Visco vibes.
Yeah, just pictures of the aesthetics or whatever, and it was just like, I'm like, why are you making me feel old? That wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago at all.
Every school or where you're from has its own
Culture.
subculture of how people dress and act.
Okay.
I went to a private school, so we had to wear uniforms.
Oh,
But all the girls, I remember they all wore their little Sperry's. They all had their Lululemon bags as their lunch bags. The Visco girls, seashell like necklaces. And
cute.
yeah, so that was
Love.
our thing.
Yeah, no, our thing was, well, I lived in the middle of a farmland, redneck, hometown kind of vibe, very small population.
Over yonder. if
Over
you will.
yonder, across the school was a cornfield.
Oh my gosh, that's so lovely, Bones Cord.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, I loved being in a woodsy area
Mhm.
growing up. But gosh, the small high school classes, it was exhausting. That's also what sucked, is that everyone, all 80 of my graduating class, saw me go through that miserable, awful emo phase. The teased hair and the Hot Topic red skinny jeans that turned everything pink in the washer. And then 8th grade, that was more Arctic Monkeys, Gorillas.
Why you only call me when you're high?
Yeah, knee-high socks, if you will. It was stripes. It was the stripes. It was the high-waisted blue jeans.
Not the horizontal stripe.
The horizontal
Ugh.
stripe.
I used to wear those. It was not flattering at all. I am anti-stripe.
Maybe it's because I have nostalgia in me from that era. You know, like Tumblr, like the Tumblr grunge era, that I love a horizontal stripe, black and white, or I don't know, grid?
Grid?
Yeah, it's grid. I love that. I want to bring it back. That era of Tumblr, being on Tumblr at that era, it makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside.
I think you should bring it back. I think you should bring it to work.
I still use Tumblr to this day.
I
love
didn't
it.
really ever use it. Not to sound like I'm not like other girls, but I never really got super into it.
Yeah.
Just because my parents were also really strict growing up. For some reason, my iCloud, I guess, was the same as my dad's. So every text I sent out, he would see the conversations, and
Oh.
then also with his phone. And I remember one time, my dad, like one of his coworkers texted him, and I responded. And I was like a really young kid, and my dad got so mad, and he literally screamed at me.
Take yourself off the iCloud.
Well, I didn't know how it worked.
No, not you, but
Yeah, for real.
your dad being all like, "Oh, that's so awful. Why'd you do?
I
Get
don't
off
think
the
I don't think
iCloud."
he understood how it worked. It
I-
was just
no one-
blind leading the blind.
No one understood iCloud.
Yeah.
I to this day I don't understand iCloud. I get charged like $3 a month. I don't know
So
where
do
that's
I.
from.
I think it's probably storage. That's maybe, I don't know. All that stuff is just weird. It's funny that's brought up too, because I was watching a documentary yesterday about how big the web actually is, and how what we can look up on the internet is only 4 to 5% of what's actually out there. And the other 95 is the deep web and the dark web,
Mhm.
where anytime you use a banking app, all your passwords and stuff is all in the deep web, and then the dark web is, as you probably know, a bizarre place.
Red Room.
Apparently those aren't real.
They're not.
So I hear.
I used to watch a YouTuber. I don't remember his name. I used to love watching YouTube when I was younger, so I just watched so many weird things.
Me
And
too.
there was a YouTuber who would use a browser that allowed him to access the dark web without, kind of
Like
before
Tor?
VPN was normalized.
Yeah.
Basically, that was what he was doing. He went into the dark web to kind of
See what it's all
see
about.
what it's all about. And it was all kind of baity. I don't think there would be red rooms and you'd have to pay a certain type of online currency. I don't think it was Bitcoin.
I think it's
but
crypto. Yeah, it's
it was
sort
some kind of crypto. But this was before any of that became one Bitcoin wasn't a gajillion dollars.
Yeah.
The guy purchased the red room and it was just a way to fish Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's a way to
crypto.
scam people.
I think half of them are also people who are undercover cops
Yeah.
and stuff. That would be kind of an interesting job
Oh my
to like
gosh,
catch
like
bad guys.
FBI.
But I love watching any form of content where they're
Same.
catching the sickos on the dark web or
Like
anything.
cyber hackers. Well, apparently it's not illegal to go on the dark web.
Mm-mm.
It's totally legal to do it. You just, once you start purchasing things or selling things, that's when it gets illegal.
Yeah.
But from what I understand from these documentaries, most of the stuff, there is a lot of scamming, like buying people's credit cards.
Mhm.
A lot of it's just like forums. It's forums, but these people are afraid to talk about it on the regular web because they don't want like NASA to find them talking about how they think the moon landing's fake or something. So they hide it on the dark web.
That's imagine being so insecure about your own thoughts and opinions that you're like, I'm gonna go on 4chan, but dark 4chan.
Dark 4chan. Because the NASA's gonna kill me for talking about the moon. Let's say that, you know what, the moon landing is fake. You think NASA is just out here just murdering people for posting their opinion?
NASA does not care.
If you were a famous person or somebody who had a lot of influence, I could then see somebody in the higher ups wanting to silence you, if you will.
Right.
Nobody cares about Steve from his mom's basement.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
You're safe. My mom does this thing with Peace and Love where she covers all her phones with tape on the camera and stuff.
They sell cases for
No
those.
no one's watching you, girl. No one is watching you.
Right.
Do you think people out here watching you?
I mean, not to feed into the paranoia, but maybe.
I wish somebody would watch me do nothing all day. That'd be just embarrassing.
I kind of would be flattered.
I'd be
in a
like,
way.
you want to watch me?
You know that whole meme that happened or that trend where it was the FBI agent watching me do this?
Yeah.
In a way, I was always like, I wouldn't mind. It kind of is like a guardian angel in a way.
They're protecting me from, bad
Yeah.
things coming. I hate to be that person, but all the people I do know who do that, a little egotistical. Like, you think you're so important that somebody's going to dedicate their lives to watching you. Maybe somebody will try to steal your passcodes and stuff, but that's a different problem entirely. Most likely, they're not going to be able to figure that information if they hack your camera. What, you leave your passcodes hanging on your wall behind your bed? like, no.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Anyways.
You're totally right. That's so stupid. Why
Rips it
would anyone
down.
do that? Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm the crazy one.
Next question.
Oh.
Next statement, if you will.
And that's what the mask is for. I'm sorry.
That's what the mask is.
But, anywho's, growing up, you realize that everyone's crazy. And
Yeah.
they're just trying to make sense of their craziness.
I put that, what you just said, on an image of the Joker. What is it? Something about being crazy is like thinking you can do the same thing with the same outcome.
Oh, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing twice and expecting a different outcome.
Different result. Yeah. That's you. That's you. Oh my god.
Ew!
Sorry.
See, you know what? I'm keeping all my opinions to myself forever.
This podcast is gonna be so interesting. Yeah, no, I agree though. Growing up, when you're a teenager, you want to be old so bad.
So freaking bad.
You fantasize about the day you're 21. You fantasize about the day you're 18, and you're thinking everything will be fixed. You know, when I was young, 15, 16, I would definitely dress more mature. I would want to talk about more mature topics, and I really wanted to get old.
There's so many parts that cater to why that is for a young girl. First, you look at media, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, even shows, Sex and the City.
Euphoria.
Euphoria, you know, they're depicting younger people. I mean, maybe not Sex and the City, but Euphoria is a great example depicting young, supposedly teenage girls. I won't get into that. But doing extremely mature things, and you think that that's normal, or you're
13
missing
Reasons
out.
Why.
Yeah, literally 13 Reasons Why, and you think it's normal, or you're missing out if you're not doing that. And, you know, it is normal to obviously express your sexuality or to experiment with things.
Yeah, experiment safely.
At the same time, once you get older, life is not like Euphoria.
No.
It is not Euphoria. Unless instead of Xanax, it's bills, and instead of carnivals, it's taxis, and
it's picking a car insurance.
It's picking a car insurance, and they're all bad.
Trying to find the best rate and plugging in that progressive snap, and then you're getting a beep every time you brake.
Oh, every single time.
It happened to me on the way back from the gym today.
Dude, I got one the other day. For those of you, for context, basically you can get a plug-in from Progressive. They'll track your driving if you hard brake or if you speed up really quick. And if you show that you're a good driver, your insurance rates will go down a ton. So we both have it. Oh my god, beep galore. The other day, dude, I'm stopping. I got 5 in a row. I counted. It went
really?
Beep, beep. It's like, no, my premium.
I get mad when it happens to me twice. Like sometimes I will literally brake normally.
And you get a twofer?
I get a twofer.
Yeah, 2 for 1.
It's ridiculous.
It's so not okay. And yeah, I start raging too. And I rage at the people around me, not to get back into like car rage. But I'll blame the person in front of me for like braking hard. I'll be like, you idiot!
Yes,
you ruined my insurance!
I literally get so mad when it's a yellow light and there's clearly enough time to go, but the person in front of me thinks that they need to slam their brakes. Yeah. And then I have to slam my brakes. And then I get the beeps. And it's not even like a pleasant beep, it's an annoying beep.
Oh, it's the type of beep that inspired Chinese water torture. It's the type of beep that carbon monoxide detector runs out of batteries.
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I regret getting it, but at the same time, I did save money.
Oh, I saved a lot of money. So
yeah.
For those of you looking for insurance, I say check it out. Get the plug-in, don't get your phone.
Don't get the phone because it, 1, kills your phone battery, and 2, the phone is really annoying because you constantly have to say whether or not you're a passenger or the driver.
Yeah. Also, it tracks if you, not that you should be texting and driving, but let's say metaphorically you do like to go on your phone when you're driving, like changing a song. You get marked down for changing your dang song.
Yeah.
Can't even listen to a new album without Progressive up my rear end.
Right. Because usually at a red light, I'll quickly go on and
I'll queue up a song.
Yeah,
I'll queue up a little Hozier, a little new Taylor Swift album. Oh, apparently it's a crime to Progressive. You know, crime. You know,
God forbid.
And really, these are things that I didn't expect when I was a kid. I didn't think I would care this much about my car insurance, but now I do.
I get excited about my air fryer.
That's not even like 23-year-old. That's giving millennial.
I get excited about wanting to buy a mop that spins for you, so you don't have to physically rotate the mop yourself. You can put in a few batteries and it'll do the whole deal. I get excited about a good vacuum. I want to get a
Roomba.
I want
for
Christmas.
Roomba so bad.
My first thing that I'm going to ask for Christmas this year is a Roomba.
I'm just afraid because what if it
kills you?
The AI's taking over. No, I'm afraid that like I'm gonna leave it on when I go to work, and then it's gonna choke on dust or something and explode, and then I'll lose my house.
I feel like we live in an era where if the dust is clogging the poor thing, it'll probably just turn off. Or it would know.
Oh, so it's not even doing its job. God.
These lazy
These
lazy clankers.
Like, get to work. I ain't paying you for free for this.
Yeah, we whip it.
Yeah, so,
And that sounds so millennial. I'm
it really is. This is beyond our. We're sounding so grandma right now. We're not
you're
sounding
so
cool.
Gryffindor. I am so Slytherin.
Ew, Gryffindor.
Gryffindor. How was that? Was that good?
That was so good. You are the Sorting Hat.
J.K. Rowling, like next month, will be like, the Sorting Hat is actually a cap.
The Sorting Hat is actually transphobic. The Sorting Hat was transphobic the whole time. Did you notice that nobody
can switch?
Did you notice that everybody put into Slytherin was not heterosexual?
I hate that woman.
She really disappointed me because she has a great coming up story. This is somebody who was practically homeless, if not homeless, from my understanding.
Yeah.
Who, needed to make ends meet. Literally came up with Harry Potter, or like the ideas for it, with a napkin and pen, and created a global empire. I think she's one of the first authors to become a billionaire.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong. So set not only, precedent for authors becoming successful, but also women, in an industry where women for so long were silenced, taken credit for by men, having work stolen. People didn't even want to buy their books because they were a woman. That's why she had to change it to JK so people couldn't figure out which gender she was. To do all of that, and then you finally overcome those trials and tribulations and you're successful, and that's what you do with it. That's how you spend your time. Really?
Yeah.
It's so disappointing.
It's so disappointing because it's such a beloved franchise. A core memory for me was watching the movies with my parents, watching Chamber of Secrets on ABC channel because they only played the Chamber of Secrets for some reason.
Over and over again. Oh my gosh. And that's always a throwback.
It's always the part. Like, we always tune in right when Ron's like, well, why did it have to be the spiders when they're going into
spiders.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So many memories. Going to Universal Studios when I was really young, and there's the castle and the rides and the butterbeer and everything, and now it's a bad taste in my mouth. I can't even get Hershey chocolate anymore because Halloween time you have the small tiny little chocolates and it's like perfect bite size, low calorie skinny girl snack. You can have like 10 in a row and that equates to one. It's Harry Potter themed, and it just annoys me because I don't want to support that, so I can't get the chocolate that I like because this brand has Harry Potter themed candy.
Yeah, I know, and I know some people are on the path of separating the art from the artist, blah blah blah. But at the same time, I'm also somebody who grew up and loved Harry Potter, millennial core, whatever. When you're putting money in their pockets when you're buying these things or watching this, so it's it really is just disappointing seeing somebody who could have really made and has made an impact, but could make even a greater impact. Just preach hate towards people and just say crazy things. It's concerning.
Talking about YA, that's another thing too. Hunger Games, Percy Jackson, every iconic series, when you grew up with those books, but then reread them, you're like, wow, these kids are kids. They're children. Yeah. This poor 16-year-old girl has to murder.
It's 12 years old, Percy Jackson.
Oh my god.
Mom gets crushed to dust in front of him. Obviously, she ends up being alive, but he doesn't even know
spoiler
it at first. Oh, sorry. Yeah, spoiler alert. But this 12-year-old kid is seeing this, and they're like, all right, time to go to camp. By the end, capture the flag.
By the end of the Percy Jackson series, he's killed numerous things. And he's
working from day one. And they keep coming back.
His kill count is above the thousands, I think, by the end of how far I read, which was the Heroes of Olympus.
Great series.
Great series. Leo Valdez.
But that's why the thing I love about Hunger Games so much is that it isn't really romanticized at all. It actually shows how horrible these lives are.
And what's really interesting is that it's now being read in schools.
I called this years ago. I said it was going to be read as a classic in schools because when you're a kid, obviously, you're watching those movies. I remember watching the first movie when it came out. What was that, 2010? 2012?
That definitely early 2010s, yeah.
So I would have been young, like 8, 9, 10, and watching it and just being like, oh, romance, like Peeta and Katniss. And then you get older and you actually see the political statement and the institution that really Suzanne Collins is writing about.
Genius.
And it's so interesting and so well done.
Yeah.
And just really, who's affected by war at the end of the day? It's the children.
Yeah.
It's always the children. Oh, it's just so well done.
It's great.
She's a genius.
I love Hunger Games. For me, it will be the number one.
Why?
Second, Maze Runner.
Maze Runner?
For no reason except for the fact that I was totally a fangirl and I had the gift making. I made animations. I made memes. I made everything on Tumblr for Maze Runner. It was a powerhouse back in the day.
The books were definitely better, I'll be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely better. I don't know. The fact that it just turns into an entire zombie apocalypse.
Oh, yeah. It sucks.
I felt like the first one was so interesting. The movies, you don't know why they're there. And that's like why they're there, really. I feel like they could have done something way different.
Yeah, I think the first book outshines the rest of the series. I, quite frankly, don't remember how the rest of the series really
exactly because it's such a blur.
Yeah, I remember the first one.
Oh, I would have loved if the first book it ended and they escaped and they're actually like Truman Showed. They're on a reality TV show and everyone's just paying to watch these kids get tormented, basically.
That would be great.
Oh, that would have been such a cool.
There were so many ways that story could have gone that would have felt more intertwined.
Yeah.
You know, looking back at it.
Why is them suffering making a cure? Make sense.
And why did it have to be a maze?
Yeah.
Like, what was the point?
Because I think it's just like them being constantly stressed out.
Right, but
and they had to like use their minds to solve things. I don't know. Case in point. If people aren't even understanding it, it wasn't a well-told story.
Yeah. I mean, it did what it had to do at the time.
It did what it had to do and it affected me positively, so I'm not mad.
And I like the movies. I love Dylan O'Brien. You know in The Death Cure, he suffered an insane injury.
Really? What
yeah,
happened?
The whole train sequence in the beginning, he broke his skull.
Oh, I did hear about this.
And it was bad.
Well, that explains why he's treating Sabrina Carpenter so badly.
Oh.
Or...
Who?
No, I mean Gracie Abrams. Sorry. Dang, gotta give it to him. Art of the craft or whatever.
Yeah, I think that put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths for the last. And also 2018, that was when the Death Cure movie came out. I would know because I was in the fandom and I made GIFs of all of the scenes.
Nerd.
I know, it's so, but now I know how to make GIFs on Photoshop. I know how to edit. I know what a smart filter does.
Just wait. Just check out our Instagram. You're gonna see some Dylan O'Brien.
Tom's Pretty Sangster, Dylan O'Brien. Unfortunately. It's a sad reality that I lived as a teenager.
You know what? I love that you were using your creativity for something.
I hate to be that person, but making GIFs on Tumblr and fan art for Five Nights at Freddy's is the reason why I went into animation school. Yeah. I have made animations for The Maze Runner. I've made animations for Five Nights at Freddy's. I made a lot of art. And I also played a lot of Call of Duty Zombies. And those are the main three things that got me into art school, animation school.
This is kind of off topic, but not really. I read a book called, what's it called? It won like Book of the Year last year or something. It was so good.
Lessons in Chemistry.
Tomorrow.
Oh.
And have you read it?
No.
Borrow it from me, you're gonna love it. But it's a book about these two best friends who creating a famous video game together. And I learned so much about just what goes into the art of creating something like that from that book.
The whole pipeline, yeah.
And it's really funny because around the same time I ended up actually working at this company that we're out now, that we both work at. And long story short, our department focuses on everything that I had just read through the book like prior to it. So it was like a weird connection thing that happened straight away that I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to read it. You would love it. It's one of the best books I've read in a long time.
Okay. I'm down. I used to sway away from Book of the Year, but ever since Lessons in Chemistry, which I don't remember.
I don't think I read that one.
Oh, it's so good. Brie Larson is in the
movie. There's a movie.
There's a limited series.
Oh.
And she's in it. She's amazing. My sister, she gave it to me and I read it. Heartbreaking. I had to put it down so many times because the plot really is a roller coaster.
Yeah.
But it's so good. After that, I've taken Book of the Year more seriously.
I mean, it's not easy to win those awards, honestly. I mean, I know there's definitely some political probably play for some of the people who win it. But this one's amazing. It's also written by a woman, I believe. And it's really well done and really interesting. And I think she studied coding and similar stuff, which is why she could talk about it so well within the series. So
I love when people
or maybe she just did a ton of research prior to it, but you can tell it gets really into it.
Cool.
especially somebody like myself who's a layman who's not familiar with that stuff really.
I'll put that on my reading list. My reading list that I have not picked into. Speaking about reading lists and things that I don't get into, that's another thing, is that you have to be accountable for yourself and your hobbies and what you do in your free time as an adult after college, working full time, working in corporate. You got to go home and you have to tell yourself, okay, I should probably read, or I should probably, I don't know, do some drawing, or I should maybe do something.
Continuing doing activities you care about. Yeah.
It's insane how it becomes very routine like, and you got to make sure that you keep doing routine.
And it's so easy to fall off like a positive track, especially when you don't have maybe a physical support system like myself, where my family doesn't live in the state that I live in.
Yeah.
And prior to coming here, I didn't know a single soul. So I was fully reliant on my own motivation.
Yeah.
So it's so easy to come back from work and instead of just picking up a book, you just go to bed. I think for my first, I want to say 5 months of starting this job, I would get up, go to work, come back, go to sleep at 6:30, 7 p.m. because I'm so mentally tired. That's one thing they never really tell you about going from college to a full-time job.
Oh yeah, I'm so sleepy all the time.
Oh, you're so exhausted and you have to get used to it. And it takes months to get used to it.
Oh yeah.
And you become so, I don't want to say depressed, but you become, oh, this is my life now. I wake up, I work, I sleep.
Yeah.
I wake up, I work, I sleep. And it just becomes so, you just get stuck in it for a minute.
But it truly isn't that way, you know?
No, it isn't. And once you get used to it and you develop stamina, mental stamina, you definitely become more accustomed
you become
to it.
comfortable. And it's such a new thing in college or in high school. Maybe not high school, but definitely college. The difference between having classes throughout the day, there's hour gaps in between. Sometimes you don't have classes on Fridays or Mondays or one of the days of the week. And it's low key. I mean, as an animation student, I didn't have a single free minute of my life ever. I was always in the labs animating. But besides the point, at least I had a looser schedule. But when you're in a corporate office, you got to be there at 8 and you got to leave at 5. Some people don't even leave at 5. I don't know how they do it. I'm so tired.
Some people stay over, yeah. Ours is also an 8 to 5, which is not typical. 9 to 5 is kind of the most common one that's seen. So we also have an extra hour, which kind of blows.
I've learned online that 9 to 5 means 9-hour days, 5 days a week.
Really?
I think.
I thought it was like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's true.
9-hour days, 5. Maybe.
Because we do work 9-hour days, 5 days a week. But one of those hours is lunch.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Most people I know that have big girl jobs, they start at 9.
Dang.
They start at 9 and I'm jelly. But it's kind of funny you mentioned that too, because in high school, I was doing 7 hours days at school, right? From 8:30 to like 3. Yeah. And then I would go to practice after.
Work.
And then, or work, yeah. And I would get home at 7:30. And I went from that to college where I could barely go to classes. It was weird. It's a weird transition, just all 3 stages.
In high school, I was the same way. I don't even know how I functioned.
Oh my god.
It must have been the youth. It must have been the energy.
It had to be.
There were weeks, because I did stage crew. I'm not a theater kid. I am not a theater kid, but I did stage
Special
crew.
announcement.
But I do love Big Fish. It's a great show. Love Big Fish.
Never heard of it.
It's good. It was the best show I've ever done.
Anyways, keep going.
Tech week is the week before the
it's
show.
The rehearsals.
It's when every single day, we basically do the play for 5 days straight to get it right. Barely any pauses, and we do all the scene changes and all the sets are ready and stuff. That would end at around 10 p.m. every day for a whole week after school. And then on top of that, I had to do homework.
Yeah.
So I would be up till 12 or I'd still want to play video games. You know, I was addicted to Destiny. That game destroyed my well-being for a very long time. For those who've played Destiny, you'd get it. You'd get it. That's all I'm going to say. If you know, you know. So my young self wanted to play Destiny. So there would be nights where I just didn't go to bed because I still wanted to watch YouTube, play Destiny, play video games, and then go to school the next day like nothing happened.
Yeah. No, it's insane. And you go to college, typically you have classes 4 to 5 days a week or a few hours a day, depending on how rigorous.
55-minute classes.
Well, mine were long. Mine were like 2-hour classes. Yeah. I think maybe that's why it's kind of a difficult transition because it might be less hours you're actually in class per day. But the amount of information you're getting in just one class is...
And the amount of work.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. So much work.
Yeah.
So many quarter-long presentations. If you're in the business school ever, you know.
And then... So your major was project-based as well then, right? It was more
Yes and no. We had some classes were very much exams. Like I got a lot of exams. You get graded on this, especially in ones that were more traditional, like finance or accounting, because you have to take all the classes pretty much. At least my school, you did.
Yeah.
On top of all your major ones, so you had to take like entry or first and second level classes for all the other ones, so you had a good balance of everything, whatever. So those types of classes, we'd have traditional tests, and then classes that were more marketing based, my major based. We had sometimes we'd have exams. A lot of times we would have semester long projects.
Yeah.
Where we'd basically do an entire campaign. I had to do that so many times in college, where I would have to do an entire campaign based off of all the different marketing techniques, and we'd have to use real companies or whatever it was, which is hard because you have to find data to do it, and it was a whole thing. And then of course you end up with some people who just don't like to do work and they don't show up.
Oh, there were group projects?
Oh, they're all group projects. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I remember, I think my last class of college, which stunk, it's my spring of senior year, I'm like ready to get out of there at this point. We had to do a semester-long group project. We basically had to teach the class for an entire class session. So 2 hours our presentation had to be. Oh my God. I remember writing on, because we had 8 different groups in that class. But by the end of the year, we had taught the class. It's like, you know what? That professor kind of had it right, though. She just had her students teach the class all semester.
I had a class like that too.
Yeah, it kind of makes me crazy. But I will say, again, not to sound like, well, there's a purpose for everything. Doing that helped so much when I finally went into corporate and was able to publicly speak and, be able to present information to a group of people. Obviously, it's important. But it's just a completely different than the former.
No, college kind of makes you more of a baby sometimes.
It really does, because you're just like, oh, I've seen all my laundry. Oh, I go to class. Oh, whoa.
Everything was an inconvenience in college. For me, at least. If I wasn't animating in the lab for my capstone or for my films, I felt like a waste. I felt like a failure. It was a toxic relationship with the computer labs at my college. I would be celebrating Easter with my family, and I would be uncomfortable in my seat, not enjoying my dinner, because I was like, I have to get this shot done or I'm behind schedule and I'm not gonna pass. I'm gonna not graduate. It was a whole thing.
It's
and maybe
so
I have chronic anxiety, by the way.
Oh yeah. Well, that might play a part.
I have an anxiety disorder, if you can't tell. But
you can't tell. Medicated.
Right.
But also another note, you realize how crazy it is how much you stressed over stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's my biggest lesson is, obviously, yes, do your work and get it done so you pass. And, hopefully good enough that you're showcasing that you're an intellectual person who can perform well. But do not kill yourself over a stupid test. It doesn't matter. It will never matter. You most likely will never use that information ever in your life again. At least in a career. I mean, you will for your specific.
Yeah.
But I promise you, I have not used the information I've learned from finance intro ever again. Lesson.
The lesson is get checked for anxiety.
Get checked for anxiety, get medicated for anxiety if you have a possibility. But also, make sure you remember the important things in life. Yeah. Because time goes by so quick.
Oh, yeah.
And you look back at all the things you're stressed out about. Even now, I should be taking my advice, but it really doesn't matter. It doesn't. It doesn't.
I don't know what I'm saying.
I mean, my kind of method is just trying to live in the moment as much as you can. Be mindful, stay in your body, but also be grateful for what you do have and what you can control, which is the present. You can't control yesterday and you can't control tomorrow, which is really hard. Yeah. But it does help with all of that. Yeah. Insanity, if you will. Right. And speaking of insanity, we have been talking for almost an hour. That's crazy. Time flies.
Dang.
For those out there who enjoyed today's episode, please, please, please come back, because we will be posting episodes every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you enjoyed us and hearing our voices, we also have an Instagram called Coworker Calamity, where you can see what we're up to in between episodes as well. So thank you so much for enjoying us today.
Bye.
Enjoying us. Thank you so much for joining us today. That's what I meant.
Joining. Okay.